morning, friends. It's Tuesday morning, June 30th, right? 2026. It's time for coffee on the porch. My name is Eric Folkerth. You have found the Coffee on the Porch live stream. I'm a pastor, musician, activist, and writer here in Dallas, Texas. I'm coming to you live from the studio here in the log house in the heart of downtown Dallas, the urban core of Dallas. Welcome, friends. Welcome. Come on in. Let's just go ahead and get started. I see a lot of you have already popped in. It may be a busy day for us. There may be an awful lot to talk about here. Let's see. What happened? Oh, wow. What happened to all your comments? Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Tried to make them bigger and they vanished. Come back, comments. Oh, no, not that. I just tried to make them bigger and they went away. Hang on. One moment, please. There you are. Okay. Phew. All right. Welcome, friends. A lot of you coming in early. This is Coffee on the Porch with Eric. My name is Eric Folkerth, as I've said. And this is where you are. You are at Coffee on the Porch, a live stream we do every week here on Substack. We've been doing it for many years now. We're getting some new folks here from Substack. I see some new viewers here. Welcome to you all. Hope you enjoy this live stream event. Good morning to Cat Bird. Good morning, Erica. Good morning, Rebecca Ritchie, Edward Baseman, Michael DeCry. Debbie and Bobby Berger are up in Plano. Welcome. Nancy Bryant is out in Colorado. Linda Waring from Ohio. Good morning, she says. Liz Moen down at the lake south of us here, about an hour and a half, right? Hour and a half. Is that right? Is that how, I can't remember how far your lake is. Larry Pennington is another Colorado friend who joins us. Dan Gilliam. Debbie and Bobby Berger says they have their Coffee on the Porch mugs. So do I. There's the Coffee on the Porch mug. Yeah, gotta love it. Larry says hi from Colorado. Cat Bird says good morning. Ah, yes, Carol Ann says coffee on the porch and all is right with the world. I'm glad to hear that. Bobby said almost went on the porch, but the air is bad. Man, it's bad and hot. It's 83 already and high humidity out there, and no clouds today. I can see out the window. Dan Gilliam says good morning from Lake Rayburn. Is that where I didn't realize that's where you were? Is that where you always are? I'm sorry not to know that. Good morning, Janie Henderson. Good morning, Sharon Greenberg. And let's see. Oh, Liz is a bit farther down, 200 miles downstream on the Trinity. Got it. Oh, Larry says we have lots of smoke from the wildfires in Colorado. Yeah, I had a friend. Where were they? Oh, Sedona, Arizona. A friend, Tim Jessup, is a musician friend of mine who lives in Sedona, Arizona. I know him from the Dan Fogelberg world, but Tim is the audio engineer and runs the studio for the band Chicago. Walt Parazater of Chicago just recently died. I'm going to want to talk about that in a minute. Anyway, the point is, he was posting a picture of wildfires like so near his house you could see the flames. It's pretty terrifying. There's a lot of the world on fire right now in all the ways you can mean that. Good morning, Rick Lang. Good morning, Joe Wilson. I may have said this. All right. Well, that's a lot of people here. You showed up early. This is a reminder to you that if you want to be reminded about this, if you are a subscriber to When EF Talks on Substack, you will get a little signal by email when we go live. But some people like a little reminder early so they can grab their coffee and get positioned in their live stream enjoying position, so they're ready for this. And so I send a little text reminder, usually about 30 minutes ahead of the start. And that's how you sign up for that. That's the only text message you'll get. I swear that I will not send you more text messages than this, that I will only send you this once a week. And you can either scan the QR code or go to that URL to sign up for that if you are interested in that kind of thing. Okay, friends, so what we do here, the drill usually is it's a coffee time. It's gathering of friends virtually. We're all over the country. We have people from Chicago, from the West Coast, from the South often. We have a pretty steady contingent from Colorado and Ohio and other places, a lot of folks here in Texas. But we gather together. Oh, by the way, my shirt for the day, because I'm sure you're going to notice it. Let me get this out of the way. You like that? That's kind of my attitude for the for the 4th. We'll be talking about the 4th in a minute. We'll be talking about patriotic and kind of things. Oh, let me read this from Nancy first. The fires in southern Colorado are terrible. There are mass mandatory evacuations. One person posted in tears that their cat escaped as they were evacuating. They had to leave before they could find it. Oh, that is terrible. It's horrible. I'm sorry to say that I've just vaguely been paying attention to that, and that's sad, but true. Big prayers for you all. All right, friends, the first thing we do is exactly what Nancy just did. Honestly, she's doing it right there. Answering the question, how's your soul? What's on your mind? What are you thinking about? What's going on in your world right now? What's good or bad or ugly about it? What would you like to talk about? So grab yourself a cup, whatever you're drinking. I have the Onyx coffee here. Cheers. Cheers, friends. Have a big sip. Take a deep breath. Center yourselves down and really dig into that question of how is your soul? How am I? How am I really? Really? Not kinda. Not I'm kinda okay, but what's going on? What are you worried about in the world? What are you excited about in the world? What's on your spirit? This is a Wesleyan question from way back. How is your soul? That's the first question on the floor. So leave a comment is the point. That's what we do. And while you're leaving the comments, I will noodle. Lake Rayburn, UMC. I need to... yeah. Good morning, John Rutherford Bryant. Welcome. There's a lot of John Bryants. I know why you put that Rutherford in there. So leave a comment while I noodle for a minute. Little comment leaving music. Okay, friends, you haven't left a lot of comments, but we're going to go ahead and get going. I'll be playing that song in just a moment. Some of you may recognize that song. I play it just about every year on this week. All right, let's see. Actually, no, you are saying some things. I apologize. Who is calling me? I don't know. Somebody's calling me just then. Dadgummit. I should probably put my my Do Not Disturb on here real quick. Let me do that. So, let's see. All right, let me see what you're saying. Rick Lang says this, my soul is good. We had an amazing weekend celebrating Tara's birthday and rebaptism. Congratulations to Tara. And congratulations for her birthday as well. Rick Lang says sending prayers, also says sending prayers for all the youth that are going on mission trips. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, Rick. Or going to church camp, and the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts that are also going to summer camp. It's camp time. Yeah, for camps. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, church camp, vacations. We're seeing that at church. Certainly lots of people in and out during the week. Tara Lang says this. You know, some people, this is a real big issue for people with PTSD or problems with sensitivity to sound and light. She says it's scared because there's going to be a ton of fireworks over the weekend. Yeah, I know there will be. And you're not going to be able to get away from them, and I wish you could. But they're everywhere, aren't they? Yeah, right now. Yeah, see, all right, yeah, this is Nancy talking about my John Rutherford Bryant. I bet you do. This is why I knew exactly why you did this. It said, we have some funny stories to tell about how John Rutherford Bryant was often mistaken for Congressman John Bryant. Well, that would be funny. I bet that was funny for both of them. I saw Representative now, John Bryant, who lives about 4 blocks that way. Yeah, see him all the time. He's working at Grace. I don't know if you, other Bryants, Nancy and John Rutherford, I don't know if you know this, but he is currently working at Grace United Methodist as an associate pastor for free. He's working for free with them, in addition to being a state representative and a retired lawyer. I don't know how he has time for these things, but that's what he's doing. Cat Bird says this, I met an interesting person over the weekend and have been enjoying long conversations. It's brightened my somber mood. I love that. I'm glad for you, Cat. We need human connection in the real world. It's what I keep saying, and it's really true. All right, friends, here's some tough stuff. Stephen Miller is working on removing funds for disabilities, taking away home support, and storing the disabled in institutions. They want to hide all disabilities. Many parents of disabled are Republicans and voted for Trump, but they don't, as I don't know what the end is, but they don't, they don't have, maybe you can finish that thought later. Maybe you did later down the thread. My soul is scared for the tons of fireworks. I know it is. John Rutherford Bryant up in Colorado says, all is well in the garden while the deer, rabbits, and bugs take their share. Liz says, I don't know how my soul is. My body's a little tired. Linda Waring up in Ohio says, all is well for me. And, John Bryant, our John Bryant, says, we have a fly fish summer camp. That seems fun. That seems a lot of fun. I'm looking to see if I can find something which I meant to have ready for you in a minute, which I should have done earlier. I'll figure out another way to get this. Anyway, thank you for all the comments. That's a good little bit. I don't have a lot to tell you this week. This was a bit of a slower week for us. We're kind of heading into the 4th, and I don't know if it's truly slower, if I'm just kind of wanting it to be. We celebrated Denise's birthday. Denise's birthday was on Saturday, so we did that as a family. Happy birthday to Denise. Very happy that she was born. She and her dad had the same birthday. They were born on the same day, of course, many years apart, obviously. And that was always a a big deal. Well, I'm looking for a post that I wanted to give you the... There it is. Okay, now I'm set for where I want to go today. All right, excellent. So what's going on with me? Well, sunset bike rides. That's been a nice thing. Trying to get my miles back up, y'all. I should be at about 100 miles a week. Not really there yet. I think I got 70 in last week, and that was about as much as I've gotten so far this year. So a little off my usual thing. I have a doctor that's checking out some heart issues, some concerns. Had a stress test this morning. No pain, no symptoms of any kind, but some stuff that's come up semi-irregular on a test, which I'm going to hope and believe is explainable some way, but we'll see. So anyway, I've had an early morning already. I was already at the doctor and back by the time we met. Speaking of mission trips, this is our Kessler Park youth group up in Paris, Texas, just outside of Paris, Texas at Cultivate Community. That's Cultiv, the number 8, Cultivate. And they had a great time. There's Reverend Rob Spencer in the back there. He runs Cultivate, and he's such a great guy. And they had a good time. They were there last week, and they cleaned up. They were in an area where there are eagles' nests. And so that was cool. That was a lot of fun. So congratulations to our youth, and thank you. And we had a couple of them come and tell us about it in worship on Sunday. This was a hard week last week, not going to lie, with this event. Some of you know I've talked about this. My wife's cousin Teresa, her daughter Christina, and her grandson Lucas, were all killed in a street racing incident in Duncanville. A couple of kids racing their cars at 100 miles an hour and slammed into the side of them, and all three of them died. A fourth member of the family has been injured and is still recovering. And so the memorial service for them was last week, and man, that was grim. That was rough. 3 caskets, y'all, coming in and out of that church. 3 generations. 3 caskets, 3 generations gone. Grandmother, mother, grandson. And so that was pretty tough. That was Tuesday, Wednesday of last week. So it was a lot. Let me see what you're saying. Oh, Liz says 70 miles sounds great to me. Dan says, thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for that. That's helpful. Kat says, I hope to get back into riding. Person I met has, what? 36 bicycles. A few are in rideable condition. Okay. Well, all right. That 36 is a lot. Wow. Where do you store 36 bicycles? I am whipping the garden in shape slowly and surely. We're finally getting some nice color with the wildflower area in the back. That cactus has just exploded over the years. And the Turk's cap is coming out. This Turk's cap will probably be out for the rest of the season. And of course, the coneflowers are a regular. I've just decided that my wildflowers don't like blooming till the heat of the summer, and I guess I'm okay with that because the heat is hard to take, and so I guess I'm happy that is what they do. So, but doing a lot of gardening. Aha, Nancy Bryant with some breaking news for us. The Supreme Court has upheld birthright citizenship. Fantastic. I'm very happy to hear that. I was pretty confident that news would come down while we were here today. So that was a 9 o'clock, 9-ish, right, release, 9 our time of the birthright citizenship case. Here's Linda Waring giving us a little more information. Supreme Court on Tuesday upheld a broad conception of birthright citizenship, rejecting President Donald Trump's executive order declaring that children born to people who are in the United States illegally or temporarily are not American citizens. Thank God. Thank God for that. Well, good, small favors, little small favors, glimmers of hope this morning, y'all. Of course, they'll call those anchor babies, and I have a word for you if you want to come with that BS. But I can't say it here, or I won't. Friends, that's a really good way to take a turn into what I want to talk about. Look, this is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. It's the beginning of the Revolutionary War, not the end of it, that we are celebrating, and the Declaration. And some remarkable words that were later in the Constitution itself, as we have just been talking about. And so it's a time where we talk about celebrating our freedoms. And there's no better symbol of that to me than the Statue of Liberty. I wonder if the Statue of Liberty is not falling on some hard times here. We have the president celebrating his America 250 State Fair, whatever that was supposed to be, on the West Mall with the green algae. Oh my God, and almost no crowd. I remember the 200th anniversary. I remember the bicentennial. I remember, and we went to New York and we saw this Statue of Liberty on the 200th anniversary of America. Yeah, I remember it was 1976, and I remember our family made a trip. We went to Washington, D.C. We saw all the sites there, and then we went to New York and saw this. We saw the Statue of Liberty. And so today we have a case that I am excited about where birthright citizenship has been upheld. Thank you for small favors. It shouldn't have been an issue. It's pretty clear in the Constitution, but you know, a lot of things that are supposed to be clear, like welcoming the stranger, seem like they're not so clear anymore. Statue of Liberty, give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. I'm not sure some Americans believe in that anymore, but it's in the founding documents, and that is what we celebrate this week. So I suppose I want to stay on these themes a bit more, and I'm going to play for you. I think I'm just going to go straight to a first song. How about that? Let's do that this morning, and we'll get into more conversation. By the way, there's supposed to be some other Supreme Court cases coming out. So if some of those come out and you want to tell me some of the other cases that are breaking, feel free. I'm going to play this song from my friend, my dear brother Joe Jinks. This is a song all about the Lady of the Harbor, and it's called Lady of the Harbor, written by my brother Joe. Far away in distant lands, the tempest tossed with hopeful hearts and calloused hands, reach for the light, the torch held high, and cast their gaze upon the lady of the harbor, and she welcomes them with open arms. She says, let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. So it was with my own kin. They sailed from Sweden and from France and Ireland. Their earthly cares packed in their bags, and they cast their gaze upon the lady of the harbor, and she welcomes them with open arms. She says, let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. But now we're locking down the borders, and we're filling up the jails, and we say they don't belong. How conveniently do we forget that we've all come to sing the same sweet song. Our dream survive this strain? Will huddled masses have the chance to learn that sweet refrain? Or will we fall into our fear and turn our backs upon the lady of the harbor? Because she welcomes them with open arms. She says, let my children in. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. It's a Joe Jenks song. My dear, dear brother Joe. I love him like a brother. I really do. We joke all the time that he's a folk musician that could have been a pastor, and I'm a pastor that could have been a folk musician. We kind of each do a little of both, really. I know. Isn't that great, Larry? Thank you. This guitar, I think it's just got a great sound to it. It's really opening up. I've had it for a couple of years now, and let me give you the bigger picture. I've had it a couple of years now. I think you were here, Larry, when I was talking about Kerrville, and this was the only guitar I took to Kerrville this year. And one day we got into a song circle that lasted 6 hours. We had no idea it had been that long, and none of us sat the whole time. We got up, moved around, ate, talked for a bit, but overall it was a 6-hour song circle. And And there was a time where somehow there were 15 musicians and nobody had a guitar but this. So this one got passed around for hours. It came back from the festival with all sorts of good musician juju, remarkable musicians playing it, and very excited. It's kind of one of those wonderful things where you get to see your own stuff through other people's eyes. There were a couple of musicians who really, I think they may end up going buying a Taylor 12-string. You have a Taylor 410 that rings like that. It's the Rosewood. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. And this is the 12 fret. I said 12 string, but it's 12 fret guitar. Slightly smaller body. I really love it. And my dear brother Tom Prasada Rao, who's back here on the wall, that's Tom behind me. Tom was the one who said, "Yep, you need to go buy that guitar." Bobby Berger saying this. Oops, fire hydrants in 1976. I don't know what that means. Oh, sorry. Oh, hey, James. I see. I'm sorry, Liz. I have to scroll back up. Curious, did anyone else paint fire hydrants red, white, and blue? Yes. My Girl Scout troop did several. Other groups were involved and painted many fire hydrants all over town. Yeah, I do remember that. Did you ever play through an acoustic amp? I have played it through an acoustic amp. Sounds great. It's what's good about the Santa Cruz has a bigger range, but it's almost, sounds terrible. It's almost too big. Like, it's really fun. It's really beautiful to play live in a small group, and people just marvel at the expansive sound of it. But the Taylor there's something about it's just hitting that sweet spot of every note, every string sounds great. And yeah. All right, let's talk about the 4th of July. Let's talk about that Joe Jinks song, and let's talk about where we are as a nation. My favorite part of the song are these lyrics right here. Now we're locking down the borders and we're filling up the jails, and we say they don't belong. How conveniently we forget that we've all come to sing the same sweet song. So will our dreams survive this strain? Will huddled masses have a chance to learn its sweet refrain? Or will we fall into our fears and turn our back upon the lady of the harbor? Friends, that song was written years before this current administration. And it is, what it reminds me of is that these issues of xenophobia and fear of the other and hatred of the outsider have been with us forever. In the time that the Statue of Liberty was first created, there were xenophobic, fear-based voices out there talking about foreigners not belonging. But the line in that song, now we're locking down the borders and filling up the jails. I just think of Trump's concentration camps, which is what they are. The idea, which is falling apart, by the way. The idea for these camps are falling apart. We stopped the one here in Dallas, the 10,000 bed facility that was supposed to open up here in North Texas. I got word last night that our friends in New Jersey, you may remember that some of us here in Dallas supported people in New Jersey who were fighting another big warehouse up there, and they stopped their warehouse. They got word in a court filing yesterday that ICE plans to sell that warehouse. It's not going to open as a detention center. They're selling it. This is the Dolphin Warehouse. I call it the Dolphin Warehouse because it was owned by the Dolphin Company here in Dallas, Texas. And we had a small part in that, not nearly the really hard work that the people in New Jersey have been doing, but we went to Dolphin headquarters and we stood up there, and it took a lot of people in a lot of places. My point here is to say that here on America's 250th birthday, some of us are willing to celebrate so long as we agree that our call is to welcome the migrant and the stranger. Those of us who are Christian especially understand this, that this is God's call to us. This is how we are a holy nation. We are a holy nation because we welcome the stranger and the foreigner. And again, let me put these lyrics from my dear brother Joe Jenks up here again. This is, hey Stan, good to see you, buddy, my brother. I was just talking about you the other day. Now keep in mind, Joe Jenks wrote this, I didn't even know, 10, 15 years ago. Now we're locking down the borders and we're filling up the jails and we say they don't belong. How conveniently we forget that we've all come to sing the same sweet song. So will our dream survive this strain? Will the huddled masses have the chance to learn its sweet refrain? Or will we fall into our fears and turn our backs upon the lady of the harbor? That's always the choice in front of this nation. Will we fall into our fears, or will we remember that we were once a foreigner in a strange land? That's our biblical understanding, and that's our national understanding. And will we find a way to love and welcome the stranger? This is Liz Moen says this. She says, I preached on healing and wholeness on Sunday, as wholeness on Sunday. I talked about myself praying for wholeness for our whole nation rather than whack-a-mole praying for this and that and other issues. That's a great way to frame it, Liz. Thank you for that. Here's what I reminded our folks at Kessler Park on Sunday. I reminded us that as we are celebrating freedom and liberty, 250 years of freedom and liberty, those of us who are Christians are very clear that we have a choice between these kind of things. I want to talk about these words in a minute. Philoxenos and xenophobia. Two Greek words that come to us from Greek culture and from our own Bible, from the writings of St. Paul. I am greatly indebted to the writer Matt Michelatos. I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but this is the week to remind ourselves of this, that in the Bible, St. Paul talks about hospitality. And the word hospitality that St. Paul uses, when Paul says we must exhibit hospitality in all things, the word there is philoxenos, which is two Greek words smashed together. This is like Reese's peanut butter cups, love and stranger, chocolate and peanut butter smashed together, tastes great together, right? That's what hospitality is. Hospitality in the biblical Greek is literally these two words smashed together. Love and stranger. The most clear and literal meaning of hospitality as St. Paul gives it to us is the love of the stranger, the xenos, the stranger. Xenos is stranger in the Greek. And I'll simply point out that we human beings are tribal, all of us. We all have in us a human tribalism that can be set forth in law. And that also is a word that contains the Greek word for stranger, xenophobia. Stranger and fear. That's those two words crashed together. That's a different kind of peanut butter cup, not quite so delicious. What would that be like? That would be like sauerkraut and chocolate together, or sauerkraut. I probably shouldn't say that because my dad used to eat sauerkraut and stuff. I don't know, and he thought it was delicious. It was the most disgusting combination of foods. Anyway, the point is, there's a dangerous fear of the stranger that we have said, we humans have identified as xenophobia for years. That's out there. That's always out there in the culture. It's always been there in the culture. It is a part of what it means to be human, to fear the stranger and the other and the outsider. All I'm saying here is in our Bible, hospitality, as St. Paul defines it, is love of the stranger, philoxenos. Show hospitality in the Bible means literally to love the outsider. So I give thanks this morning for this remarkable ruling. We're very excited that the Supreme Court has upheld birthright citizenship. Thank God. Thank God that happened. Thanks be to God for that. I feel like we need to be doing a bit more than that, though. Let me name the downside. Right now in Dallas County, down at the federal court downtown, they now have a rocket docket where almost every day they are detaining about 100 people. People show up dutifully for their court hearings, and they just don't come out of that building. We are continuing to see at the Dallas ICE field office. Of course, I was there yesterday for our vigil. And we're continuing to see people detained there at record rates. Some of our partner friends and groups that are working on these issues have found evidence that Dallas leads the nation in the number of detentions. Now, here's what's deceptive feeling about this. It doesn't feel like this is happening. So in Minneapolis, of course, and Chicago and LA, in other areas, there was a big display. They brought in ICE and they busted heads and they ripped people out of cars, and the images were horrible. And you're not seeing that here in Dallas. What you're seeing here in Dallas is our van by van, the van going out to a very targeted location, picking someone up, detaining them, bringing them in. It's very seamless. It's very quick. And we have a 300 to 400 square mile area here in North Texas. And so they can get to a place, make some detentions, and be back to the ICE field office before anybody realizes what's happening, before anybody can respond. So it's paradoxical because we don't have the images that they have in other parts of the country, but we have the harm at a scale worse than anywhere else in the country. That's what we're being told is happening. We have partners who are confronting ICE Air using Dallas Love Field for flights out of Dallas Love Field. ICE, we believe, with Atlantic Airlines, is flying out of city-owned Love Field, and we don't think we think the citizens of Dallas should have a say in this. So there are protests that our partner groups are engaging in, and we're raising that moral issue that's a harm happening. And of course, we continue to raise the issue that it's harmful to ICE agents themselves. It's harmful to their soul. It's harmful to them. You know, when police officers engage in police brutality, when ICE officers engage in rounding people up with no criminal background, that's harmful to their soul. There was a gentleman, I won't identify anything more about him, but he was a former soldier, and he was at our vigil yesterday, and he was very much in agreement with this, that like soldiers overseas who sometimes harmed themselves by harming civilians when things went wrong or when people went over the line. I'm afraid that ICE agents are doing the same thing to themselves here in the United States right now, and I'm very concerned about this. So here we are on the 4th of July and the 250th anniversary. And here's what I will be celebrating for Sunday. I will be celebrating that our nation, I will be praying that our nation recommit to the words of Lady Liberty, that we remember that we are a migrant people, that we remember these beautiful words of Joe. How conveniently we forget that we've all come to sing the same sweet song. Will our dreams survive the strain? Will huddled masses have the chance to learn its sweet refrain? You know, we're not losing the need for migrants. Speaking of that, the birthright citizenship case is good news. That said, there was some bad news last week, and Linda, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned this yet. But up near where Linda Waring lives in in Ohio, we had some unfortunate news related to the status of Haitian migrants. And I wrote about this, and I think I talked to you about this a bit last week. The Haitian temporarily protected status has been revoked by the Supreme Court. It's very disappointing because many, many Haitians have come, and after earthquakes and economic disasters have come to our country. And many of them settled in the area of Springfield, Ohio. And the issue for me is that is 30 minutes from Greenville, Ohio, where the Folkerth family is from. My relatives, my ancestors were farmers, German farmers, who came from the East, descended from one man who got off the boat in 1754 in Philadelphia. The sons of that man, Christopher Folkerth, his sons eventually came west to Ohio and settled in Greenville, Ohio, and they were welcomed there. They were welcomed as migrant farmers, and they made a life for themselves. And that is the story of my family. And so it is heartbreaking to me to see in that same area now the national government pushing against this. Linda, see if you tell me if this tracks for you, Linda. The local folks in Springfield are still pretty supportive of these Haitian friends, yes? I believe your governor still is. He's condemned this decision. He's a Republican, by the way, Republican governor of Ohio. Many Republican leaders in the small town of Springfield say they are so happy to have these migrants who've opened businesses. Many of the buildings in the town square of Springfield now have life again because of Haitian migrants who've come to Springfield, Ohio. Linda says, I plan to write more about the Haitian issue today and the lack of understanding. Temporary means review of the situation and possibly to extend. Well, I hope that's true. That would be awesome. That would be amazing. And let's hope that's what happens. Thinking what America was like on the 200th and what we are like on the 250th. Yeah, it's interesting for those of us who are of a certain age. I was a kid on that first one. Like I said, we took a big bicentennial trip up to Philadelphia and Washington and New York. And we eventually ended in Massachusetts. It was a very long trip over several weeks. And saw our relatives in Massachusetts is where we ended up. But on the way, stopped in Philadelphia and saw the Independence Hall. I was going to say Freedom Hall, Independence Hall. We went to Boston and saw the Freedom Trail. We went to Washington, D.C. and went to New York. Saw the Statue of Liberty. It was very meaningful, and we weren't the only ones. This was a big sojourn and pilgrimage that Americans made, and I have to tell you, it's exciting. It's paradoxical to me that right at the time that Trump is doing this 250 America State Fair, whatever the heck that thing is supposed to be, y'all, just go out to the country. I don't know if Stan's still here. Go to East Texas, go see people out in the country. If you want a state fair, just go there. You don't have to go to the National Mall with some fake thing they set up for a week. We have plenty of beautiful rural places to see and get the reminder of our heartland. Do that. But what's fascinating to me is at this same time where we have this very poorly attended weird thing, we have 10 or so host cities in the United States welcoming tens of thousands, millions of strangers from around the world. And we're celebrating all these different cultures. And I can walk out here, I can go down to Deep Ellum in just a little bit, and I will see people from, I've seen Japanese folks and Mexicans and Argentinians and Austrians and the Danes, I believe, were here. It's crazy and fun and beautiful. And it's just fun to see the celebrations. One of my favorite videos that I've seen online, maybe ever, was a man, I believe from the Congo, or maybe from Ghana. I'm sorry, I don't remember. African man, picture this, white soccer jersey on, surrounded by a sea of Latinos, I think from Colombia, in yellow jerseys. Colombian faces all around him, one African man standing there. And they're playing his national anthem. And he is standing and he is singing with all of his heart. He is just singing so proudly. No one else is singing. They don't know this. It's his national anthem. And he's got his chin up in the air singing his national anthem. And when it's over, all of these Colombians lean in on him and they all start jumping together. They celebrate with him his own culture. And it's like, way to go, man. Way to represent your country. It's the best of our tribalism. It's not the fear of the stranger, the xenophobia, but it's the welcoming of the stranger, the love of the other. And so I want to end with my favorite hymn. This feels I'm going to move this mic back a little more so it picks up the guitar and everything. This feels like a song for the World Cup. All of us celebrating the beautiful diversity of our human family. My country skies. Oh, that's the second verse. I'm already screwing up. All right. Sorry, y'all. You should pay attention here. Let me start over. This is my song, O God of all the nations. Song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and the skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. May truth and freedom come to every nation. May peace abide where strife is raged so long, that each may seek to love and build together a world united, righting every wrong. A world united in its love for freedom, proclaiming peace together in one song. This is my song. It's my favorite hymn. That last verse, you Methodists may know a different last verse from Georgia Harkness. That's I believe that's one of the original Lloyd Stone verses instead. So it's a slightly different version. Let's see. Dan Gilliam says, "I love that song. I chose it for my retirement service." Oh, fantastic. Well, your heart and my heart, let's go hand in hand. Bobby Berger. Oh, I already said this. Thinking what America was like on the 200th. Look, it's easy to be cynical, and I am myself here. I've been told I can't wear this shirt on the 4th itself, so I'm wearing it today. I mean, there's a lot that's wrong, y'all. There's a lot that's wrong, a lot that's messed up. But I hope if you are celebrating this week, I hope that you celebrate remembering the words of the statue, remembering that we are migrant people, remembering that our biblical faith demands that we love the stranger. Both the Hebrew Scriptures and the New Testament describe hospitality as hospitality to the stranger, not just your family or your friends or the people that look like you. So that's my prayer for you this weekend. I hope you'll pray a prayer that we continue to be a nation of law and welcome, and that we balance justice and mercy, compassion and welcome, that we find ways. We have always in the past found a way to welcome strangers and yet also enforce law. I think that is fracturing in our time. And people are debating back and forth whose fault that is. I think it's pretty much everybody's fault. I've said that many times. I think the mess of our migrant system, immigration system, falls on everybody. All right, friends, we are near the end here. I'm going to wrap things up here. This is the songs we did today. 2 songs, my brother Joe Jinks, Lady of the Harbor, and This Is My Song by Lloyd Stone. If you go looking for Lady of the Harbor, you're going to need to look for Brother Sun. That's Joe's band who did a remarkable version of Lady of the Harbor. So look for Brother Sun, Joe Jinks, and you'll find that song online. This Is My Song. There are many, many versions of that. I love the Indigo Girls do a great version. That's one of my favorites. Okay, friends, going to wrap things up. Remind you, for those who are new, I think the regulars know this, I've got lots of music out. Last 2 years have been very prolific. I have 2 records out in the last 2 years, Rock Hammer to the Stone and Unfinished Business. Please find those. If you stream music, add them to your libraries and give them a listen. Would love for you to find my music and enjoy it. That's really the reason that I put it out there. Another reminder about the reminders, that if you want to be reminded of this gathering, to show up on time and get yourself ready ahead of the 9:30 start, that you can always hit this QR code or copy that URL and sign up for a text reminder. You'll get one little reminder that will come to you at 9 a.m. on Central Time, and that way you have about a 30-minute window to get ready and get your coffee ready and get ready to join us all live. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a blessed 4th. For those of you, as we were mentioned earlier, some people have challenges with the fireworks, and it's scary and really, really anxiety causing for them. I pray for all of you. So y'all be safe out there. Those of you in the West, in Colorado, I see Larry saying thank you. All of y'all be safe around the wildfires. Just be safe, okay? If you're driving, if you're whatever you're doing this holiday weekend, be safe and pray. Throw up a prayer for our nation, for that we balance welcoming the stranger and not harming the stranger, but loving the stranger as the Bible calls us to do. God bless you and keep you. We'll see you next week. Until then, bye-bye.